I think Mark got it in a nutshell there. You know, the West Ham were lucky to come away with a draw, but you have to give credit to the defence in particular. The young lad Declan Rice, I thought he was exceptional today. Winston Reid marshalled them well. And they stuck to the game plan. They got the result. 31 shots from Spurs is massive. So Adrian as well, he's played well. So, you know, it took a worldie, didn't it, in the end?
Well, it did. But will West Ham look at that as mission accomplished?
Absolutely.
They set out a plan. They got
absolutely. They knew David Moyes would know he'd have to ride his luck. He'd need the goalkeeper to play well. He'd need Tottenham to not be clinical, and he got all of that tonight. You know, 31 shots at goal is a massive target for anyone to show that they was far better, Tottenham. But we know that the league position suggests that. It is a poor result for Tottenham. You know, they need to win them sort of games. You know, now it's Burnley at home, Swansea at home, West Ham. You know, they've dropped points against teams. West Brom as well made it very difficult. So it's games like that you need to be clinical and need to take maximum points if you want to be in the top four, because come the end of January, early start of February, you know, playing Manchester United, Arsenal and Liverpool, you know, and they're the games, especially away from home, where they've struggled to win. So, yes, they're unlucky tonight not to come away with maximum points. I have to say that. But I would credit West Ham, because David Moyes will be delighted, obviously well-drilled, well-organised and willing to put their bodies on the line and perform for them West Ham fans who travelled here tonight.
And, of course, part of the plan was for Obiang to smash it in from 25 yards. What was he doing on the pitch? That was the question that Mark Noble was asking.
Yeah, well, he didn't venture anywhere near there, did he, until this? And for them to get their first shot in the 70th minute shows how deep they was playing. I mean, we couldn't believe it, because he just hit it lovely. It's actually gone through the centre-arse legs there, and it's just gone straight in. And
what about the strike there,
it was lovely, wasn't it? It was lovely. He took it out of his feet. I think Tottenham are thinking, go and have a shot. You know, you get a bit lazy there, and you don't want to shut him down. He's gone and put it through, and it's unbelievable.
Did it look like that was the intended? I mean, obviously it's the intended outcome. If he tries that time and time again with that technique, is that going into?
Not without being disrespectful to him. That's one in a career. That one, you know, for him. We're going to see Son's equaliser, and we've already seen Son score like this before, and we will see him score like this again. But for Obiang there, that's not part of his game. We have to believe, you know, he spoils the game. He does well. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he runs around. He does a good job for the team, and it's the likes of Lanzini and AU and the guys like that who can embroider it a little bit. But tonight he's chipped in with a wonder strike, and I would have to say, if he ever scores one like that ever again, then I want to see it.
I think we all do. It was the perfect storm, though, wasn't it? Not just the power, but the part of the goal it went into, which caught Lloris by surprise.
Yeah, you don't rarely see keepers getting beat from that distance on the near post. Lloris he'll be disappointed with himself there. What Tim was saying, like, it's not, you don't recognise him for someone who's going to score from 30 yards. He's not a Lampard or a Gerrard. He just hit it lovely, and it's one of them goals when you're here. It silenced the crowd, didn't it? If no one could quite believe it, and it set the tone. And I thought straight away, Tottenham responded very well after this as well to come back into the game, because it looked like West Ham had stifled them and for the first 70 minutes, and it was going to be an easy to stop them scoring for an extra 20.
Yeah, he's a great lad. Yeah, and that's honest, isn't it? He's not premeditated that. I mean, he's just talking from the heart. He's really disappointed they haven't taken maximum points. He knows how tough it's going to be to reach that top four. There's no one giving up. You know, they're all pushing very, very hard, and they needed maximum points here tonight. It's not dead. They never laid down Tottenham. They kept going, kept trying to look for the winning goal, even when they scored from Heung-min Son. But what a strike. The way he cuts across it is fantastic, and something you expect from him now. What a signing he's been. He's been an absolute fantastic signing.
Well, he said the other goal was better.
I think that was a foul in the build-up.
We'll come back to that. Tell us about the goal.
Yeah, the goal, I mean, they just moved the pass, just drifts off into space there. Harry Kane, he takes the defenders back now, he pushes them back, so they're too deep, and I think it was Noble was a little bit too deep there. Needs to come and put some pressure on, but the strike is fantastic.
Do you think there's real purpose about it, where he's actually putting it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that is a foul. I mean, he's not in control of himself. And then it was just easy after this, just moved the ball, worked it up the field, and West Ham got deep. They got very, very deep, and he just got enough space, Son, didn't he, to do this. Takes a good touch, and he knows exactly what he's going to do now, and he cuts across it, Joe, doesn't he? He just cuts across it with his right foot, and it's almost like a fade in golf. You know, it's a wonderful strike into the top corner.
In fairness to Mark Noble there, I think the position of Eriksen affects him, you know, from shutting. The lesser of the evils, really. You think, do you want Son to strike it from there, or do you want him to slide it to Eriksen, who's 5 yards, from you closer to goal, and obviously we didn't expect Son to hit it. So in fairness to Mark there, he's worried about Eriksen. But that's what his Tottenham team, different from 7-8 years ago, is they've got 4 or 5 players who can hurt you, and so you can't just worry about Kane because it's Ali. Son's an excellent player. Eriksen, the threat comes from everywhere. Yeah. That's why they are where they are and threatening at the top end of the league.
And he's potent right now, 6 in 9. But a closer look at that incident, Tim, that we've seen there in the build-up to it. Does he not actually get the ball, though?
He does get the ball, but he's endangering an opponent. He's not in control of his body. He slides. It could easily be a foul. He wins the ball cleanly.
So VAR, that happens on Wednesday. We come back and the goal's disallowed then, in your view?
I said it was a foul. I think Joe said it wasn't. I mean, well, we've all got different opinion.
Why not?
With a VAR situation, I think what will come back to that is you look at it, in slow motion, he wins the ball. But when we all looked at it, didn't we, in open play, and he was reckless. And if Lanzini catches his studs there, he could do him seriously damage.
We thought he was lucky to get the ball, didn't we?
Yes, he took a big gamble. We were talking about centre-halves and where they're schooled, and Colombian centre-halves and people from South America will generally take more of a risk. And he took a big risk there, and it paid off for his team.
Penalty appeals for Spurs. Joe, what's your take on this first one?
Similar to the Hazard's one, weren't it?
Similar to the last night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very similar. With a word of the law, you would see it was given, but I think there was so much going on in there. It was so congested in there. Maybe the referee didn't get a good view of it. He's kicked him. He hasn't got the ball. You could argue that's a penalty, but it would be very harsh to give it, I think.
I think why Mike Dean doesn't give that is because the ball actually goes.
That's his view.
Yeah, but look at he looks at the ball. Look at the ball. He's not sure who's kicked that. You think that might be Dele who's kicked that ball?
And also where the ball ends up as well. Like they've both gone for it.
Yeah.
And Dele's just got there before.
It's a penalty, though, in my opinion.
What about the one where Adrian collides with Dele Alli?
We never see these one given though. You never ever see these.
You do when it's the other way, don't you?
But yeah, absolutely. But this is a penalty. I mean, Adrian, that's offside, first and foremost. So it shouldn't be a question. But Dele makes contact and he just takes him out. He just punches him in the head. I mean, that for me is a nailed-on penalty. Should have been offside, so he shouldn't have got this far. But as he heads the ball, he takes him out. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a late tackle.
Goalkeepers get protected, don't they? They do get away with murder in them situations. But I think Adrian's usually very composed goalkeeper. I think the ball's dropping in his 6-yard box, and sometimes goalkeepers, if he felt like he had to go when he wasn't really ever going to get there. Dele had the jump on him, so it probably could have been a penalty. That.
What's refreshing though is you see Mauricio there. He's not coming out looking for excuses. He's not gone in there and looked at the video and finding excuses for his team. He's saying we're not clinical enough tonight, and he's right. We're fed up with listening to managers keep coming out looking for excuses, deflect away from the result. He's not trying to do that. He's saying referees make the decisions. Tonight they haven't gone for us. We're not clinical enough, and he blames collectively, and then move on.
And he'll be hugely disappointed with 2 drop points. If this was earlier in the season, Tim, we might be talking about the Wembley problem.
Yeah.
Because it's now, and that point leaves him just 3 points outside the top 4. Should we just see this as a blip, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think the way they performed. Look, we looked at how many shots on goal they had, 31 shots at goal, only 8 on target. They want to improve on that. But as we've seen previously when they come here and beat Southampton, they're capable of scoring a lot of goals at the right times. They've got big games coming up. Like I said, end of January, early February. They need to win these games against the teams in and around them for that top 4.
Well, there you go. Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal in a little run there.
And a back-to-back, all of them, and then you've got the Juventus Champions League game shortly after.
They'll have a big eye on that, won't they?
Huge, because Arsenal haven't got the Champions League, have they? So it's a huge game. Arsenal.
Can you plot the way forward for Spurs then this season, Tim? Obviously, the perfect season is for both, but what would be the priority right now? For this season for Spurs?
In my opinion, the Premier League's good. I think Man City are away. They're away. No one's catching them at the moment. The way they're playing, they've been fantastic. Champions League will be a very difficult one to win. To finish in the Champions League spot in top 4, I believe top 5 this year, because I think an English team will win the Premier League, win the Champions League. So I think there might be an extra spot there. But that would be a success for them. If they can win a trophy, if they can progress, they play Wimbledon on Sunday in the FA Cup. Carabao Cup would have been good enough. These fans want to come and see the captain lift the trophy, and I think now's time. They need to move on. I think that would help them keep a lot of players at the football club as well.
How hard is that, Joe, when you're part of a squad, part of a team that is trying to compete on all these different fronts and win all these different trophies in the same season?
It's very difficult. I think we was talking the other day. You play the whole season, and it's 7-8 months. It all comes down to April, May, where you are. These sort of December months and Januaries and February, you're jostling away. You're trying to stay in cups. Performances are not that important. It's results, and you get into like April, May, and that's when the business starts, and that's when, Tottenham have traditionally been a cup team, so you can't rule them out winning the Champions. I don't think you can rule any of the teams out of winning the Champions League from England, because of the strength that all of our teams are. Anyone can win that. But like Tim was saying, the league's definitely gone. Man City have got that. And if an English team does win it, then it opens up another space. But Tottenham fans need, Pochettino's been praised a lot, and these young players have been praised a lot over the last few years. They have to start delivering silverware to keep them all together and keep them at the club and keep the project going. If not, if I'm Harry Kane or Dele Alli, I'm looking round and thinking, well, if I can't win things here, then I want to go somewhere else to do it, because you get one career.
And that's the next challenge for Tottenham moving forward. Down at the bottom, every single point is priceless.